Okay, so after the end of this lesson, you guys will be able to capsize, keeping in mind the importance of weight displacement as well as communication, and making sure to keep a hold of the boat at all times. And you guys will be able to use this in any form of situation where you need to capsize, right? So, what is the situation? Okay, so we have a situation here. We have Timmy and Jimmy, okay? They're cruising along on a boat, enjoying the day's work, and all of a sudden, they see a gust hit from the east. Next thing you know, they end up capsized, right? So the first thing, what happens is when you capsize, is you don't want to stay onto the boat. Why would you not want to stay onto the boat when you capsize?
You could go underneath it.
Well, not even that, but the boat, you're close. The boat could flip over, right? And you don't want the boat to completely flip over, otherwise it's a bit more tough considering the mass could fill in, right? So from there, you want to land in the water, right? Possibly on the sail, just don't rip the sail, but land in the water, right? Making sure you don't stay onto the boat. Now from there, you want to making sure that everyone's okay. So the skipper can usually ask, or the crew can usually ask. Communication is key, right? So you want to ask if each person is okay. And from there, you want to grab onto the hold of the boat, and you want to make sure you have a good hold on the boat, because otherwise it could drift away. And then from drifting away, it could lead into crashing into other things. So make sure you got a good hold on the boat and aim it towards irons. And so irons basically is where the wind is coming from. So point the boat towards the wind. And from there, what you guys want to do is make sure that there's nothing that's going to, prohibit your movement. Making sure that there's nothing that's actually going to stop you from moving. Now, next thing you want to do is flipping over the boat. Now, how do you guys think you guys would flip over the boat?
You get on top of the centerboard.
Getting on top of the centerboard, exactly. So, first thing you want to do is you want to get probably the most beefy person, the Hulk of the team, on top of the centerboard, right? Get him onto the centerboard, and he will be able to get on top. Now, when he gets on top of the centerboard, he will be able to use all of his weight that he has in order to flip over the boat. So you basically grab onto the gunnel, which is the side of the boat, and you can use, any form of stuff that you have on your body, like legs, for example, to extend out in order to flip over the boat. And how can the crew help, you guys think?
They grab somewhere onto the board.
Yeah, they grab onto the centerboard, right? They grab on the centerboard and they help it flip over. And from there, they will be able to flip over the boat. Now, when they flip over the boat, you don't want to hop into the... Well, you could try to hop into the boat, but the beginner thing is probably flipping over the boat, staying in the water, and making sure that the boat doesn't flip over again. And so let's say they successfully do it, right? They successfully flip it over, right? What point of the boat, what part of the boat should they get onto? The side of the boat, or the back of the boat, or the front of the boat?
The back of the boat.
Back of the boat, right? Because if they get onto the back of the boat, what can happen is they'll be able to sufficiently get onto the transom, and it's a lot easier to access, right? And from easier access, they'll be able to climb up. So the skipper, right, beefy person, is going to get on top of the boat, right? They're going to get onto the boat from the transom. Once they get onto the transom, he's going to help get the other person onto the boat, okay? When he gets him onto the boat, he's going to pull him up by his life jacket, right? Because if we pull him up by his arms,
it can harm the skipper.
Exactly. Well, it could harm the other person, right? It could harm the crew.
It could harm both of them.
It could harm both parties, right? Anyways, they get back up, and they're able to start going again, right? So, they're able to start cruising again, and the next thing you probably want to do is start bailing, considering the amount of water you're going to have in your boat, right? So you start bailing, making sure you don't flood, and obviously the skipper will sit back into his normal position, start steering the boat, start heading upwind, or going back. Question?
So when bailing, does that mean we just take a button and
Yeah, exactly. So usually in a lot of boats at NOSA here, what we do is we have a milk carton that we make, a makeshift bailer, so we just start hucking water out, right? Or you have an auto bailer, which you can flick on the 420, for example. And an auto bailer basically automatically bails water if you're moving at a constant speed. So that's kind of what that does. Any more questions, you guys? Nothing else. All right, sweet. So now I'm going to show you guys a video on what capsizing would look like in an actual situation. Okay, so in this video, you guys will be able to learn everything that I just taught you about capsizing. They will replicate exactly what I have shown you guys what to do. And because we can't go in the water today, this is what we're going to show instead. And right in this video, they will show someone turtling, so not actually capsizing. So ignore everything prior to that. Otherwise, enjoy the video.
A variety of reasons can lead to the capsize of a dinghy sailboat. Having the sails sheeted in too much, or a wrong distribution of the crew weight are only some of them. Wind and waves or a wrong position of the crew after the capsize can lead to turtling the boat entirely. During turtling, the boat turns upside down and only the hull and the daggerboard are still visible. Once the boat starts turtling, it is crucial for the sailors to swim quickly away from the area between rigging and hull. The first thing after each capsize is to make sure that all the sailors are well, not injured, and have contact to the boat. After that, climb on the hull and hold on to the daggerboard. Position yourselves on the edge of the boat while holding on the daggerboard. Lean outwards as much as safely possible and wait for the boat to turn to its side. An additional line underneath the railing will help to not lose contact. Once the boat is back in the normal capsize position, one of the sailors has to turn the bow towards windward. The remaining part of righting your boat is usually quick and easy. Begin with sheeting out the main and jib sheet. Once this is done, keep pulling on the daggerboard or the line beneath the railing to pull the boat back into an upright position. Depending on the type of boat, there are different ways on how to get back aboard easily. Either you stand on the daggerboard and climb directly on board during the righting process, or you pull yourself back into the cockpit from astern once the boat is safely afloat again.
To force capsize the boat, simply lean heavily to one side or the other. This imbalance of weight will capsize the boat. In the unlikely event of becoming trapped under the sail, simply push up on the sail. This will introduce a pocket of air and then you can swim free. Let's now look at what you need to do step by step to recover from a capsize. When you first go into the water, check that you're not caught up on any loose ropes and make sure that the main sheet is fully slack, which will mean that the mainsail flaps when the boat is pulled upright. Next, swim to the rear of the boat. This will ensure that you do not get trapped under the hull should it invert. And while you're there, check the rudder hasn't fallen off. If it has, refit it. If you feel the boat rolling on top of you, you need to swim clear and let the boat settle. If, however, you do get trapped under the boat, then you need to take a deep breath and bob out from underneath the upturned hull. In this example, the boat has fully inverted. To make it easier, you need to swim to the centerboard in preparation to right the boat. To increase leverage, try to get out of the water by climbing on the lip of the upturned hull and grab hold of the centerboard. If the centerboard has slid back inside the boat, simply grab it and fully extend it like this. This provides greater leverage to right the boat. But be careful not to damage the trailing edge of the centerboard, as this is a thin edge and is delicate.
So basically, we're going to do a demonstration. Now, usually we would use a boat to show out weight displacement. Usually we get you guys in the water and show you guys how to use weight displacement to your advantage. However, we're going to use this trampoline pole as an advantage here. So let me quickly demonstrate what we're going to do. So using this pole, we're going to flip over the trampoline sideways, which is then going to be able to force you to use weight displacement in order to flip over the trampoline. So let me quickly demonstrate. So I'm going to hop on here. I'm going to use all my weight in order to flip over the trampoline. Now this would basically work as a rudder or a centerboard, right? And obviously from there you would be flipped over. So that's kind of the demonstration. Now we'll get you guys to try. Now it's your turn. So first thing you want to do is you want to get up on here, right? So you grab the pole and stand up like you would. Well, obviously you wouldn't do that in a real boat, but what you do is you lean back, get on top of the centerboard. However, in this case you can't really do that. So get on top of the trampoline here. And essentially you're going to just lean back, right? And so from there, you're just showing weight displacement. Alright, you can let go. That would basically in turn show weight displacement right there.